Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa is speaking to the South African Democratic Teachers Union, SADTU. Let's take you live to that address right now.
A great milestone. For 30 years, SADTU has been mobilizing, organizing, agitating, and leading the educators of our country in their struggle for better conditions of employment. We congratulate you for reaching this point because we understand too well the great difficulties of organizing and leading people from vastly different backgrounds and worldviews into a very progressive, militant, effective union of teachers in our country. In the course of the history of our democracy, many organizations have been born with great hopes, only for them to fall into decline or become irrelevant in the face of the various contemporary challenges that they have had to face. We can all be proud that 30 years later, SADTU remains strong, united, effective, cohesive, and a union that unites the teachers of our country. I cannot emphasize the importance of organized formations of workers in a country with a history such as ours. The workers organized by SADTU, our educators, are key to the reconstruction and development of our country. Yesterday, we celebrated and marked World Teachers' Day. It is a time to appreciate the important role teachers play in nurturing our children and equipping them with the skills they need to make a positive contribution to society. I therefore wish to pay tribute to all the teachers of our country who work under very challenging and difficult circumstances. You are true nation builders, and the work you do is greatly appreciated. Your dedication to the success of our children and the future of our country has been proven time and time again, but more so during the COVID-19 pandemic. For the sake of our children and their academic progress, you braved the dangers and the risks posed by COVID-19 and returned to the classroom when asked to do so. I appreciate that some may have been understandably and justifiably reluctant to return. Nonetheless, you did so because your passion for education triumphed over fear and anxiety. We remember and pay tribute to those teachers who have succumbed to the virus and those who are still not well. I also wish those who are infected a speedy recovery so that they are able to return to work, to do what they love most, namely teaching our children and nurturing them to be the future builders of our country. Government is committed to the safety of all our educators and learners, as well as of all the support staff in our school environment. We will continue to do everything in our power and within our means to ensure that your safety is not undermined. We will continue to provide our teachers with personal protective equipment and all other support that they need to teach successfully and safely. At the same time, I urge you to continue to be vigilant. We must keep ourselves and others safe by continuing to observe the regulations around social distancing and good hygiene protocols at all times. We are acutely aware of the many other challenges that make it difficult for our teachers, educators to do their work. We are working tirelessly to resolve problems in our schools with regard to infrastructure, namely on issues such as sanitation, water, electricity, proper and safe classrooms, as well as access to adequate learning materials. We must work together to rid our schools of violence that threatens the safety not only of learners, but also of our educators, because many of them have been subjected to violence, and learners have also been subjected to violence. And we must work together to eradicate violence in our schools. Schools are meant to be places where young people learn, happy places, places where they must go in with a smile and leave with a smile that is underpinned by knowledge. SADTU must play a decisive role in the development and implementation of a comprehensive strategy to eradicate violence in our schools. These great challenges, which we are determined to resolve, continue to be a stain on our collective conscience. SADTU has been very vocal about the urgent need to resolve them, and we thank you for that. And also the role the organization can play in doing so. This is consistent with your role as our partner in transforming our education system and eradicating the inequalities that exist within it. I also urge you to lend your full support to another challenge that threatens to reverse the gains of our hard-won democracy, and that is the scourge of corruption. I'd like us to join hands in the fight against corruption wherever it rears its head, and let us report and expose corruption wherever we see it. There is a continued pressure that we all face from our people about eradicating corruption, and we must respond to what our people are saying in relation to eradicating corruption. Let me also reassure you that the government takes very seriously the rights of workers, the rights that were won through struggle. I want to state unequivocally that our democratic government is totally committed to ensuring that the rights that you won in your struggles as workers will not be devalued, that the rights that you fought for, rights such as collective bargaining, the importance of collective bargaining, that it should never be undermined is a right that we recognize, and a right that, yes, we want you to be clear that we will not seek to undermine. We say this so that you can be assured in your minds that we will want to protect this right, we will want to advance it just like you do. And in doing so, we want to work with you as a union so that our collective adherence to collective bargaining should be something that encourages you to continue to play the role that you play well as the educators of the nation, as nation builders, and as nurturing the children of our country. There will be challenges along the way that we will encounter. But I believe that whatever challenges there may well be, we will be able to address them and resolve them. That we will be able, through negotiations, through discussions, to resolve them. For we are all engaged in the important task of building our nation. Currently, we face enormous challenges, and one of those is to ensure that we rebuild, reconstruct, and transform the economy of our country post-COVID. And in a little while, we will be outlining a plan of recovery, a plan of reconstruction of our economy, so that we can effectively, together, address the ravages of inequality, of unemployment, as well as poverty. COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on the lives of our people, and it has also wreaked havoc on the education system as a whole. And we'd like to thank you for continuing to be focused so that the year is not lost, and that is why we applaud you as our educators, that despite what COVID-19 has brought about, you are willing and prepared to pick up the task and make sure that our children, our young people, are educated. On our side, we will want to work with you through your various formations, your federations, your unions, to ensure that we do rebuild our country going forward. And this is a task that we believe that we can engage in collectively and be able to resolve the challenges that our nation faces, the challenges that you as workers also face, the challenges that various households in our country face. You are now 30 years old as a union, and the message of hope that I'd like to put across to you as an effective, revolutionary, forward-looking union is that there are many, many, many more tasks that lie ahead, which the nation expects that you, as SADTU, as the teachers, the educators of our nation, will be able to shoulder, that you will be able to nurture the next generation of our country. And you have already proven that over the past 30 years, you've been able to produce educated young people, you've nurtured them, and you've made a great contribution to the building of our nation. And I urge that you continue to do so, because your role as the educators of our country is far more greater than many people begin to imagine. It is possible that sometimes you may think that you are not appreciated, but I want to assure you that indeed you are appreciated. And today, at 30 years old, we want to say, long live SADTU, continue doing the work that you've been doing, and keep your union united, progressive, and effective, even as we deal with the various challenges that our nation and our people face. I therefore wish SADTU many more years of unbreakable service to the educators of South Africa. I wish you strength, I wish you fortitude, and I say happy birthday, SADTU. Long live. Thank you very much.
That was President Cyril Ramaphosa talking at the anniversary, the 30th birthday of the South African Democratic Teachers Union, SADTU, and various issues coming up. Of course, this is a day after Teachers' Day, so wishing them well, but also a day before demonstrations planned across the country tomorrow. Public servants unhappy about various issues such as PPE, and we know that this has been an issue in the education sector as well. The President saying that government respects the right to demonstrate, the right to strike, and the right to raise legitimate issues, but also calling on teachers to be part of the solution to fight back against corruption and to ensure that the school year somehow gets completed after the huge disruption because of COVID-19. Coming up, we'll be speaking to Sunday Times investigative journalist Thando Njika on the asbestos saga and corruption, the arrest blitz that we've seen in South Africa. Stay with us on The Full View.